Welcome to season 3 of No Shame in the Home Game, the podcast that cares how your home feels, not looks. I am your Lacey. I'm your Lacey, listener. We're just going to go with that. Lovely partner and co-host, Sarah. Hi, Sarah.
Hi, Lacey. I love that. My Lacey. I do love that.
Sarah, I have a little anecdote to tell you this morning. Isaac's been doing this thing. I still have yet to get past this part where he says, open the gate. And then you open the gate and it's, who's your teammate? And I said, him. And he's, you're doing it wrong. It can't be me. He's also, I thought you would say Sarah. And I was just like, bud, you do not know how happy it will make Sarah to know that you thought of her.
Oh, I mean, I'm kind of stuck on, I don't know how you did it wrong. I'm kind of
I don't
stuck on
either.
that.
I don't know what happens next. He refuses to do the next part with me because I keep getting it wrong.
I do love that he picked me.
You did.
That makes my heart warm. Thank you.
And I think that's a great way to start season 3 is we're teammates and we're here and we're excited for our new season. That's going to look a little different from previous seasons, but something that I'm excited for us.
I am too. And we mentioned this at the wrap up of the last season. I'm excited to pivot, to try on some new things and see how we can continue to. I was going to be really cheesy and be like, embrace other people in this warm hug of comfort around home management. It's like trying out new dance moves. Let's mix it up. Let's try some new stuff. I'm excited as well.
Yes, we will have a participant that we follow like we have in previous seasons. And I'm really excited about introducing you all to Amy and her journey. But we're also going to use this season to check on season 1 and 2 participants as well to see what's going on. So you're going to hear from Joe and Lacey. Alex, she's had a baby since we last talked to her. I know Sarah has so much going on all the time. And of course, our season 2 participants as well. And last but not least, we are opening up our doors to more quick hit question and answer things because every once in a while those pop up. One popped up in my life the other day, and we're going to talk about it later on, of like, how do you do this? Or what does this look like? And so we want to solve some problems.
And not just solve. Yes, I love solving problems, but also, again, it's all about no shame.
Yeah.
So no shame in having a question, no shame in there being a whole slew of different ways to do things. Go back to that example of the fitted sheets. And somebody was like, oh yeah, I put on 4 at a time and take them off 1 at a time and wash them. I like just opening up that doorway to like, there's many different ways to do it. There's no one right way or wrong way. The right way is whatever works for you. So yes to solving problems, and yes to just removing any sort of pressure, expectations, any of those crappy feelings. We don't have time for that.
Yeah, there's crappy enough feelings coming from all the other stuff in the world. You don't need to put that on yourself.
No, we are here to validate whatever your home management experience is. So yeah, so you can deal with the other crappy feelings.
Yeah. That's a big part of the joyful support movement is that we see the bad. It exists. It is part of our lives. We cannot ignore it. And it also does give us the appreciation for the good. We recognize the joy as well. And then we try to take a step forward to making things just a little bit better. So we're hoping that No Shame in the Home Game can help you with that. You can submit your own questions at noshameinthehomegame.com. There is no too big or too small as far as what those will look like. If it gets too big, we can't solve all of your problems or brainstorm all of your problems.
What would too big be? I don't even know.
I don't know.
I'm up for anything.
You're a problem solver. You are.
I'm like, wait, no, there's no too big. If it seems big, then you chunk it down and we look at things individually. And what's too big to one person may not be too big to another person. So bring it all on. I want to hear it all.
Okay.
There is no question too off the wall.
No too big, too small. No too obvious or too, I should know this.
No.
You just ask.
And that's the thing is when people find out what I do and then they realize how truly kind I am and non-judgmental, I'll often get these whispered, hushed questions. That's why I'm excited to do this Q&A because people will be like, "What do you think about?" And then they'll ask me something, and I'm like, "Yeah, it's a perfectly valid question. You don't have to whisper this. I'm not reporting an agency or something. We're not taught how to do this. We're just expected to know. We're here to say, hey, if you don't know, this is a very safe place.
Yeah.
We're going to laugh for sure."
That's part of our charm. The other thing that I do want to say about the form is you can submit it anonymously if you would like, or you can submit it with your information and maybe we'll even bring you on to ask you questions and live problem solve with you. So, depending on your level of comfort, you can be anonymous or put yourself out there as much as you feel comfortable with. So, truly, no shame. You don't need to worry. We got this. We got you. And you got questions. Sarah has answers. I have giggles and sympathy, empathy. I know things sometimes. I need to give myself more credit. This is season 3, right? I've been through 2 seasons of it, been a participant. I have started being better and better about all of this stuff and coming up with ideas and that kind of thing.
And we all know things. I think this goes back to one of my biggest takeaways from college was it wasn't that it taught me what to think, it taught me how to think. And so when people have questions, it's not that I have the answers all the time. It's that I feel really comfortable breaking it down into its parts and then using my resources to find the answers. So I'm not all knowing, omnipotent. That sounds like a lot of pressure. And we have said many times we're not a cult.
We are
So
not a cult.
I am fallible. I like to think that each question is a riddle. Even though I may not know the answer right off, you can wiggle your way around to a solution that works for you.
One of my favorite things to say to my students when I was an academic advisor was, I don't know everything, but I do know a lot. So let's try to figure it out together. I've also started saying that to Isaac because I need him to know that I know a lot of things. Stop trying to challenge that.
I love that confidence of your kids coming right back at you because I just little mini Lacey.
Sarah and I had a conversation about our zones of genius and what we naturally are good at. It's so funny when somebody else tells you yours. Sarah used the word intrepid for me, which first of all, I had to look up because my brain just went, oh, that's a car. Didn't really know the word. It's basically that I'm bold and brave and not afraid to jump in, which, yes, I guess I do see it, but it also sounds like, no, I'm not. I'm not brave, not bold. But that's my inner voice that has always tried to make me smaller, that I've been trying to say no.
That is actually a great point because I think that is the thing about zones of genius. We often don't recognize them in ourselves because they come so easily. And that goes back to season 1 participant, Sarah. I really learned about zones of genius from her. I recognized that when I was working with people in their homes, I was like, oh, yeah, everybody has their zone of genius that they overlook. Sarah Berry can throw together a children's party or really cute invitations and all of these like cutesy little, she's just so good at it. And I am not. And she doesn't realize, right? Because it comes so easily to her. So when you say you don't see that in yourself, I think that's why you need people outside of you to go, no, I see it.
Mhm. And I told Sarah her number one thing is to make people feel seen and understood. That just is an underlying agreement with what she was saying earlier about this being a place of no shame. She is so good at making you feel seen. And I hope you, dear listener, get to feel that where you are. It's one of the most magical parts of our partnership, in my opinion.
Thank you, Lacey. That makes my heart warm and fuzzy.
Oh,
Very exciting news. You can now sponsor joy. You can put more joy out into the world. Go to joyfulsupportmovement.com, scroll down to the bottom, and hit the support button. There, you can sponsor joy financially. And added bonus, you can put a joy ripple out into the world by either giving a shout out for yourself. Thank yourself for all the hard work you did today with laundry. Give a shout out to a neighbor who picked up a package so it didn't get wet. You get to put that joy ripple out there, and we will do the shout out on the podcast, and you will be supporting joy in the world. Thank you so much for your support.
Sarah and I were thinking we would do 2 Q&A questions that one I got this past week and one that Sarah always gets as a intro to what you could expect. And I think that's a good intro into one of the questions that Sarah gets all the time, which is, does your house look perfect all the time?
Oh my gosh. This was a real emotional journey for me. When I decided to do this work, I noticed I got really tense because I started to criticize myself or my house wasn't looking great. So my answer to that, immediately I always just say, no, my house isn't perfect because I want to put people at ease. But there's also no and yes. So the no part is no. If you walk in my house, it's not ready for a magazine shoot. There are things that need to be put away. There are always projects in progress. And the biggest thing is I live with other people who do not have the same North Star as I do. And so part of living in a household is coming to, oh, it's going to sound like a hostage negotiation, is coming to an agreement, right?
Yeah.
Nobody's going to get everything they want. It's, what do you call that when two people are sitting at a big table and they're like, I want this, I want that.
It's just
I
a
don't like.
negotiation. Just take hostage out of it.
So part of what I've learned is, where can I let go and let the other people have more of what they want? And where can I stand firm and say, no, this part is really important to me? So is it perfect? Not visually. Heck no. But yes, it's perfect for me. I know where almost everything is in my house. I know what needs to be done. If you were to point at anything, I'd be like, yeah, I'm going to deal with that at this point in time. I have steps that I know, but it goes back to our 3 buckets of resources: time, energy, and money. And I'm a working mom. I only have so much time in a day. And even if I have more time, I often don't have the mental energy to deal with one of those projects. It's perfect balance in that I know exactly what direction and what the status is of my house and how far I can push myself and still be a kind human being. I could definitely push myself more, but then there's a version of me that's not pretty. And my family knows what that looks like. I have learned to let a lot go so that I can enjoy my family. Oh, yeah. So now, not magazine perfect, but yes, perfect for me.
I do want to give a little plug because Sarah and I have been working on home management for kids. And one module that we have added is some tools to have this negotiation in your household of what people want and meeting expectations to come to a place where both you, if you're a parent, and your children who start to take on more responsibility in the household can both feel empowered. That's something that I am probably the most excited for home management for kids because I think that's really cool. We're not raising little organizers. We're going to go be perfect and whatnot because that sets them up for failure. So part of the process of teaching them is helping them learn what is and is not important to them, what is and is not important to mom and dad, and how to make a cohesive and something for everybody, which if you think about it, that skill is going to be huge later on. I was never an RA, but the amount of roommate squabbles that I heard about in college is really prevalent. And maybe this can help them with that too.
Yeah. And that's again why I'm so excited about home management for kids, because me living in a house now with other people with different goals, values, it really is something I've witnessed in other homes that drains relationships.
Mhm.
And again, it's your home should be supporting you to enjoy life. Like we said earlier, there's enough crap. Coming home is meant to feel restorative. If your vision for what your kid's bedroom should look like is not lining up with what your kid wants or can do, what is that doing? It's just draining your emotional energy cup. Getting really clear on why do we pick things up? Why do we remove the trash? Why do we not shove a wet towel under your bed? But if there's no understanding, that's just conflict. So I'm excited because, yeah, if people could learn this, then maybe there'll be a little, like we said, just 1% more cohesiveness and understanding in those home relationships.
Absolutely. Our second Q&A question comes from my sister. She sent it to our group chat. Does anyone know how to clean a washing machine? My response was, you have to clean a washing machine? Like, isn't it wash? Isn't it doing that all the time? But I said, I can ask Sarah.
And my response when you asked was to laugh and reference New Girl when Nick is pitching a fit about they're trying to figure out who's using which bathroom towel. And they're like, what about when you wash it? And he's like, why would you wash your bathroom towel? You're clean when you use it. It's just drying you. Why would your towel need to be washed? I remember one time I posted about cleaning my shower curtain. And people are like, you clean your shower curtain? That's a thing. You can clean everything. You don't have to. So, yes, cleaning your washing machine, there's so many different ways to break it down. And so, first of all, do you have to? No, you don't have to do anything. So then the next step is you can look at it as either a preventative measure or dealing with it when there's a problem, as with so many things in our life, right? If you want to just deal with it when it's a problem, you're going to either see something gross or smell something gross.
Now that you're saying that, I'm like, I have had a problem with a washing machine before. A diaper ended up in there once accidentally.
What'd you do?
It's actually happened twice now. The first one I had to deal with, the second one Joe did. Get all the clothes out. That's what we did. And then try to get, because the diapers have that like absorbent, like little things.
Yeah.
Try to get as much of those off of the clothes as possible into a trash can. And then go through and wipe out the washing machine and then wash everything again. That's what we did.
And everything smelled okay.
Yeah, it was a
and
pee
there was
diaper,
no.
so it wasn't.
Okay.
Yeah. If it was a poop diaper, I don't know what I would have done with myself. It would have been a very throw it all away, get a new washing machine.
Just put it on the curb. Who has been washed in this washing machine? The thing to remember is that wet plus dark equals growth of mildew. We'll just leave it at mildew. Okay. And a lot of people with these newer washing machines, the energy saver ones, especially the ones with the door that opens in the front, you'll see that where the gasket. What kind of washing machine do you
I have a top loader. It's a very old washing machine.
I actually also have an old washing machine. The new energy efficient ones with the front door, you'll see that gasket, water will get trapped at that bottom. And oftentimes you'll see if it's standing water or you'll see like a little discoloration on the gasket where mildew has started to grow. So no matter if your washer is front or top, leaving the door open always helps with air circulation. If you close that, you're just creating this petri dish. Because when you wash your clothes, ideally everything would get washed down. But if there's any remnant of anything, it becomes food for mildew. How to wash your washing machine. I'm going to give general advice because you need to read your own manual for your own washing machine. But a couple of different ideas. One is they actually sell, if you go to the laundry detergent section of your grocery store, you can actually find washing machine cleaners that you would do an empty cycle or maybe put in one or two towels and then whatever this product is. And what it's doing essentially is trying to strip away anything that may have gunked up. Think about how in like your cooking hood in your kitchen, sometimes you run your finger and it's got like a little bit of grease buildup.
It's not a thing I've ever done, but I believe you. I did work at Wendy's, so I know grease can build up. So I got that.
So it's just like a little bit. And then once it starts building up, it starts grabbing dust and more grease. When you're cleaning it, you're essentially stripping it back down to the bare material, whether it's plastic or metal. With the older style like you and I have, you've got the drum inside of the drum. That water level goes up. And sometimes it doesn't get washed all the way down. If you use bleach, I mean, everyone's got different feelings about different cleaning products, but you can run an empty load with some bleach in it and warmer water. Wait, why are you
I'm laughing
laughing?
because I have no feelings about cleaning products at all. I'm just over here giggling because I'm like, I have not thought about cleaning products enough to have opinions.
When my son was little, we did some cloth diapers. And so I was looking up different recipes because you actually don't want to use traditional detergents because they leave a film that decreases the absorbency of a reusable diaper. I was looking up different ways to make them, and they're some hot feelings.
I did cloth diaper Isaac, so I do know about that a bit.
So, what detergent did you use?
We used a baby one that was specific
For the
for the
cloth.
cloth.
Okay. So when I was doing research on making different things, you just end up in that world of people having opinions. Of people had opinions about borax.
We did borax in there too.
Some people have some very strong feelings. Once you go down that rabbit hole of the internet, you find that people have strong feelings about everything.
do.
Water, the pH of water. So some people like bleach, some people don't like bleach, some people like ammonia, some people don't like ammonia. But the simplest thing you could do is run a warm or hot cycle with some bleach. That's going to help either kill any mildew spores, hopefully help strip it down a little bit, and then make sure to leave that door open. I mean, good, better, best. If you want to go crazy, and this is actually my dream. My neighbor had a problem with her washing machine and her husband had to take it apart. She sent me a picture of the gunk that was on the outer drum. And I was like, oh my gosh, I want to clean that so badly. And I actually lent her, it's a steam cleaner that you can spray. And so she cleaned it and sent me pictures and I got so tingly. I loved it. I actually want my husband to help me disassemble my washing machine so I can do that. But time, energy, and money, it's not at the top of my time list.
Yeah.
I dream about it. I want to see what's back there, and then I want to clean it. Can you see my hands? I'm like
Trying
so
to grab
giddy.
for it. You want it so bad.
I want to see it so badly. So circling back, how do you clean your washing machine? Always check your user manual. Always leave the door open. Do a warm or hot cycle with a cup or so of bleach. You can throw in a couple of towels to help. And then you can look in the aisle for specialty products. They also, as long as we're talking about cleaning your appliances, they sell that also for your dishwasher.
I do know about the dishwasher. Joe has bought that before.
So it's the same thing.
The dishwasher
It's
is
the same thing.
Joe's. Actually, so is the washer and dryer. He does those. Joe's the MVP.
Does that all make sense? Did I clarify that well enough? Or do you have a question?
I don't have questions. I'm still back on, you clean your washing machine. I did have an example of when I cleaned out the washing machine. I do get that more now. I do know Becky has a front loader, so I'm wondering if she has that issue of it sitting and kind of things. Hopefully that can be helpful for her.
A lot of the newer energy efficient ones with the front loaders like that, they actually have now a cycle after you're done doing your laundry that dries the inside of the washer.
Huh.
Because of the way that front loader sits, the water can pool right at the bottom. But yeah, anything that has water, your shower, your sink, your washing machine, your dishwasher, your sinks, your toilets, water plus dark equals petri dish. Joy sharing is joy magnified. Let that joy ripple out into the world by sharing this podcast with a friend. If something made you laugh, smile, feel joy in any way, let a friend know today and spread all those good feels around.
I will say something I'm learning more is that in our new house, we have much harder water. I'm noticing the hard water buildup on things. Like we had to have a plumber come out and replace some pipes underneath our sink in our bathroom because of that. I do see how that could also affect a washing machine too.
Yes, the mineral buildup Yeah, that's a whole other thing. Have you considered getting a water softener?
I don't know where we would put it. We don't have a basement, and right now our utilities are literally in one closet and it is filled. So
Mhm.
I don't even know
Gotcha.
where we would do that. My parents have one. I remember putting pellets or something in it at some point.
Mhm. Yes, we have a commercial size water softener because that's how
Ooh.
hard our water is. Yeah, and you have to pour the pellets. My dad wanted to build, you know what a coal chute
Yeah.
is? Yeah, he wanted to essentially build a coal chute in my house to get the bags of water softener pellets down into the base. And again, great idea, but time, energy, and money, it's not really at the top of my list. But yes. So that's a whole other
Yeah.
thing. Oh, that was so fun
This
for
is
me. Now I just really want to go clean my washing machine. Oh, and I did make the assumption she was talking about the inside.
you should be able to
Uh,
wipe it down, right?
You would want to just wipe it down with a damp cloth.
Yeah.
One little beef. This is a total side note. One little beef with everything now that's analog versus digital, like the touch screens for your oven, thermostat, washer and dryer if they're fancy and new. When you go to wipe things, you have to lock it first, otherwise everything goes. I'm such an analog girl. I know you're so digital. I got timers for my lights because I get so tired of turning the lights on and off. And I was looking and they have so many digital options, like you can hook it up to Wi-Fi. And I was like, I'm just not that person.
Almost all of the lights in our house are done by telling our electronic home assistant, whose name starts with an A, to turn lights on and off. I love it that I can lay in bed and turn off lights downstairs. I also set it up so that I can control our garage door from my phone.
You are becoming like a cyborg.
Absolutely. Bring it on.
Lacey is the brain and the heart of your house, and your house is a digital extension.
I was doing some journaling yesterday, and one of the things I'm trying to learn about is my own design and manifesting. I am what's called, based on my human design chart, a specific manifester. Like, I can be very specific about what I want and it will help me. And one of the things I wrote is I don't want anyone to need me, but I want to be the center of the wheel. If someone needs something, they can come to me and I can come up with an answer. But I don't want to be their foundation. And so you saying me being the heart and the brain of our house, I'm like, I already am. Don't worry. Working towards having that even more in my life.
I love we're two ends of the line. You're moving towards that, and I'm moving back Amish. And I'm not even a Luddite at all, but I just anything I can still have, like paper and pencil, I go that direction all the time.
If that works for you, great. Maybe at some point we should do an episode about all the different automations and tech things that I have in my house that make my life easier because I have quite a bit.
That would be great, especially to highlight the chronic illness
That's that's one of
listeners.
the reasons why we started investing in like smart bulbs and that kind of stuff is that if I'm not feeling well, I don't have to get up to turn the light off. I can turn the light off from right where I am. I know that doesn't sound big for other people, but when you're like, I can barely function as a person, let alone stand up and turn the light off, to be able to do it laying with my eyes closed, game changer.
Oh, and I fully support that, and I think that's wonderful. Where I get overwhelmed is all the different options,
Yeah.
like which system you pick and what plays with what and what doesn't play with what. For instance, I got a new computer, and now my new computer won't talk to my printer because it aged out. So, like technology, yeah, that's where I get flummoxed. Flummoxed is the perfect word for
It
that.
is.
I get
I also wanted to tell you those are very valid concerns. Those are one of those things that are easy for me to overcome and move past, but I can get why for other people it is not. I see you and I understand and I validate what your experience is.
And that really highlights this podcast. It is about your needs. Your need to turn off a light without getting out of bed is towards the top of the priority list. Whereas for me, it's not.
Mhm.
There's a lot to take to consideration.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I was also going to say I would hate timers because it would feel like the world's telling me what to do. the lights turn off at certain times. You don't know if I need that. Don't do that.
I sort of love it. So I turn the 2 lights downstairs on timers so that I can go to bed and then there's still a light on downstairs. What I love about it is the light will turn off after I'm in bed asleep, and I feel like someone's taking care of me because I don't have to think about it.
That's very
So,
nice.
again, it can look different to different people, different angles.
Yeah. I will say Christmas decorations are on timers because I don't rely on those to light my home. They're a joyous thing when it happens, but it's not a core need. Although if it was up
Yes.
for me, I would have every light on in our house all the time. The more light, the better. Unless I have a migraine, then all the lights need to be off.
See, I am so funny about light because when you use overhead lights, I'm very specific about that, and when you use lamps and which lights can be on at which time of the day, I'm like the light captain in my house. And it's hard for me because in the morning, I don't want that bright overhead light. I want just like a soft, like under the cabinet lighting. And my son, when he gets up before me, he turns on every single light on the first floor.
I am your son, and you are Joe.
It's like walking into a casino after being in the pitch black. You're just like,
This morning, I turned the light on, and Isaac yelled, "Too bright!" And I was like, "Too bad. I need the light."
we have 4 switches in our master bathroom, and one of them's the no-no light. I don't know why I haven't just put a piece of tape over it. My husband always uses the no-no light, and sometimes I'll be in there and he'll come in and turn on that one. I'm the same way. I go, "No, too bright." That's me. I'm Isaac. I'm like,
So's Joe. Joe will be sitting in a room, and I'm just like, I get like, because the sun's going down, so it gets darker. At one point, I'm just like, Ella, turn on all the lights. It's too dark. How do you do this? Can't handle it. I can do it wherever I am because I can tell the lights to turn.
because you are part cyborg, but not a cult
Not a
leader.
cult leader.
This has been a fun opener to season 3. I'm very excited, and I can't wait for those questions to start rolling in. Please.
Me too.
Again, it's anonymous. You can ask anything,
Mhm.
and I will be tickled no matter what you ask.
Absolutely. Sarah, what are you grateful for this week?
Okay, I mention it all the time. I watch
I
Jeopardy.
do know.
I love learning. But my son told me he was in class and there was a question and he raised his hand and answered. And he said, "What is the prime meridian?" I was so delighted. The teacher actually went, "In the form of a question." Nice. You are correct. Points awarded. So answering in the form of a question, that made me laugh. What are you grateful for?
I am grateful for my chart and the fact that I can send a message to my doctor. I don't have to call anyone. I can just send a message and then they can take care of things and send a message back. I'm so thankful for it. Managing gestational diabetes is a full-time job. And just it like the amount management of prescriptions and appointments. I haven't gotten to the appointments where I have to go every single week, twice a week. At a certain point, I have to send in my blood sugars every week, and then they adjust my medicine based on my blood sugars, and then it gets sent to the pharmacy, and then the pharmacy has to fill it. This time around, I've been able to do it just with messaging people, and it makes my life
Wow.
so much easier. I'm thankful for my chart and being able to message doctors and not have to call anyone.
Yeah, call somebody, be put on hold, be transferred, leave a message, wait for them to call back. You can't answer the phone when they call back, so they leave a message
Yes.
and it takes up your whole day.
Yes.
I also want to highlight that is a further extension of Lacey being a cyborg
It
with
is.
her medical care.
It is.
I love
I
that.
also have a blood glucose monitor that automatically uploads to a cloud. So all I have to do is take that report and send it to my doctor. I have done everything that I can to make it easier for myself. And son of a bee sting, if it doesn't make things at least a little bit easier. Yeah.
I actually do think you should be some sort of leader for chronic illness. I don't know if gestational diabetes falls under chronic illness. It's not chronic because it's temporary, but it's a thing to be managed.
Yeah.
But I feel like you should be a leader of, okay, let me tell you how to make this easier.
I do have ideas. A lot of mine's technology. If I had enough money, my life could be easy breezy. I
Girlfriend.
know. That's one of those things where I want to make enough money that my chronic illness doesn't leave such an impact on my family. That's all I want. And I'm going to
I
get
hear
there,
you.
manifesting it right now, putting it in the universe.
I love it. Yeah.
Listeners, we are so excited to do season 3 with you all and have you be more involved in the season. I think that's what I'm the most excited about. It's
Yes.
not just me and Sarah and our participants behind the scenes talking. We get to have more people involved, and that I am very excited.
Yes. Yes. I didn't even think about that until you said that. I was like, yes. Yeah, the community,
Yeah.
that big head. Come on in. Remember I was talking about being like a mama
Yeah.
bird, like a mama chicken. Come on over.
Get on in here.
Get on. There's plenty of room for everyone.
Absolutely.
But don't get too close to Lacey because she wants to be part of it, but she doesn't want to be like in the
Yeah.
mix.
Like, just don't give me I'm not a hugger. People think I'm a hugger. I'm not. I just like personal space. We can acknowledge we like each other from a safe distance. I don't understand why touching has to be a part of it.
There's these so funny videos of dogs at doggy daycare. My dog is obviously not social. And there'll be like all these dogs like tumbling together in this big old dog pile. And they'll pan over to this golden retriever just sitting by himself in the corner with his eyes big. Like, do not touch me.
Yeah, just don't touch me. I think that's a fair requirement of life. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so
Yeah.
too. On that note, thank you, Lacey.
Thank you, Sarah.
Thanks for listening to No Shame in the Home Game. We hope you can take a little nugget of goodness to use in your own home. Remember to subscribe to the podcast in the player of your choice, like us on social media, rate and review, and share us with all of your friends, and maybe a couple of non-friends if you want. You can always visit joyfulsupportmovement.com to learn more about No Shame in the Home Game and other Joyful Support podcasts. While you're there, you can join the newsletter or sign up for the Joyful Support Village. Now go out there and spread some joy.